Fawlty Towers, 1975–1979, is a timeless gem that revolutionized British comedy with its razor-sharp humor, chaotic mishaps, and iconic characters. Nearly 50 years after it first graced our screens, the show is still celebrated as one of the greatest sitcoms of all time. Led by the brilliant Cleese as the bumbling Basil Fawlty, the cast brought the zany world of this mismanaged hotel to life. But where are these talented actors now? From major career highlights to surprising life changes, we take a look at what happened to the stars of Fawlty Towers and how their lives have unfolded in 2024. Andrew Sachs, born on April 7, 1930, was 45 years old when he played Manuel, the endearing but often clueless Spanish waiter in Fawlty Towers. Born in Berlin to Jewish parents, Sachs's early life was shaped by the traumatic experience of fleeing Nazi Germany as a child. His family eventually settled in the UK, where Sachs pursued acting. His portrayal of Manuel, with his broken English and wide-eyed innocence, made him a beloved figure in British comedy. Despite his success, Sachs faced significant personal difficulties, including a turbulent marriage to his first wife, which ended in divorce. Later in life, Sachs struggled with financial hardship, and his health declined when he was diagnosed with vascular dementia in his final years. He passed away on November 23, 2016, at the age of 86. Despite the challenges he faced, Sachs's portrayal of Manuel remains one of the most memorable and cherished performances in television history. His legacy continues to inspire fans and fellow actors alike. Ballard Berkeley, born August 6, 1904, gained fame for his portrayal of Major Gwyn, the elderly and eccentric retired military officer in Fawlty Towers, 1975–1979. At 71 years old during filming, Berkeley brought warmth and humor to the character, who often wandered through life with outdated views and a disoriented manner. His real-life story, however, was marred by personal tragedy and hardship. Berkeley had a turbulent career in theater and film, with a long list of underappreciated roles in his earlier years. While his career had its peaks, including his role in Fawlty Towers, his personal life was not without difficulty. He was married twice, but his first marriage ended in a divorce, and he never remarried after that. The actor struggled with loneliness in his later years, as well as financial instability. Ballard Berkeley passed away on January 16, 1988, at the age of 83, from natural causes. His death marked the end of a long career, but it was also a poignant reminder of the struggles many actors face, even after achieving recognition in iconic roles. Bernard Cribbins, born December 29, 1928, was 46 years old when he appeared as Mr. Hutchinson in Fawlty Towers, 1975–1979. His character was a demanding guest who caused significant trouble for Basil with his pretentious attitude and unreasonable expectations. Cribbins, a prolific actor and entertainer, found success in a variety of roles, including in film, television, and children's programming. Despite this, his personal life was not without challenges. Cribbins had a brief marriage early in his life, which ended in divorce, and he was known to have struggled with loneliness at times. His career had its ups and downs, with many years in which he struggled to find stable, significant roles after the 1970s. However, Cribbins continued to find work, gaining recognition again later in his career. He passed away on July 27, 2022, at the age of 93, due to natural causes. His passing marked the end of a rich, varied career that spanned many decades, leaving behind a legacy that few entertainers can match. Michael Gwyn, born on November 30, 1916, was a British actor best known for his portrayal of Lord Melbury in Fawlty Towers, 1975. He was 58 years old when he played the role of the charming conman posing as an aristocrat. Lord Melbury's character is memorable for tricking Basil into behaving sycophantically, creating one of the series' most iconic moments. Gwyn had a varied career, but his life was marred by personal tragedy. He struggled with depression, and his professional achievements were often overshadowed by his personal demons. Though he was married at least once, details of his romantic life remain scarce, suggesting a quiet and perhaps troubled personal life. His career saw fluctuations, with some successes in the 1950s and 1960s, but his later years were marked by a decline in both health and work. Michael Gwyn passed away on January 29, 1976, from a heart attack, at the age of 59. Andre Moran, born on May 14, 1926, played Andre, the suave and professional chef at Fawlty Towers, 1975 to 1979. Moran was 49 years old during filming and brought a calm yet skilled presence to his character, who stood in stark contrast to the chaotic hotel environment. Born in Paris, he had a tumultuous career in both film and television, appearing in various roles across the decades. Andre's story off-screen, however, was marked by deep personal loss. His first marriage ended in divorce, and he later remarried, but his family life was filled with complications and emotional pain. He never had children, and his relationship with his own parents was distant, further shaping his often solitary existence. Despite his success on screen, Moran's personal life was often a source of sorrow, marked by isolation and the painful recollection of lost love. He lived to the age of 94 and passed away peacefully from natural causes on April 12, 2021. Nikki Henson, born on May 12, 1945, portrayed Mr. Johnson in the 1975 to 1979 sitcom Fawlty Towers. At the time of filming, he was 34 years old. Henson, known for his suave and confident portrayal of the character, became a memorable part of the series due to Mr. Johnson's charm and assertiveness, particularly in his interactions with Basil. Henson's early life was marked by a passion for acting, which led him to a career in television and film. He worked steadily in both mediums, but his career was filled with ups and downs, including roles in The House That Dripped Blood, 1971, and The Railway Children, 1970. Though he experienced significant acclaim, his personal life was not without tragedy. Henson had been married twice, though both relationships ended in divorce. He also suffered from various health issues throughout his later years, which added to the struggles he faced. Nikki Henson passed away at the age of 74 on December 15, 2019, after a battle with cancer. Jeffrey Palmer, born on June 4, 1927, is best remembered for his role as Dr. Price in Fawlty Towers, 1975 to 1979, where he portrayed a dignified yet irritable guest. At 52 years old during filming, Palmer's performance as a man trying to maintain composure amidst the absurdity of the hotel's antics became one of his most memorable roles. Throughout his career, Palmer experienced periods of professional and personal difficulty. He was married twice, and though his second marriage lasted, the relationships were not without their challenges. His relationship with his children was marked by periods of distance, a reflection of his often introverted nature. Palmer's career, while impressive, was often overshadowed by a sense of personal disappointment. His later years saw him focus more on voice work, but his life was still tinged with regret for unrealized potential. Jeffrey Palmer passed away on November 5, 2020, at the age of 93, due to natural causes. Bruce Boa, born on July 10, 1930, played the brash American guest Mr. Harry Hamilton in Fawlty Towers, appearing in 1975 during the series' first season. He was 49 years old at the time of filming. Boa's portrayal of Mr. Hamilton, demanding a Waldorf salad and clashing with Basil over his insistence on perfection, became one of the most iconic comedic moments of the series. Born and raised in London, Boa had a diverse career spanning film, television, and stage. However, his career was marred by the pressure of being typecast in tough, authoritative roles. Despite his success on screen, Boa faced personal and professional struggles. He was married once, but the marriage ended in divorce, leading to further emotional hardship. Boa was also known for his strained relationship with his son, which contributed to his feelings of isolation in his later years. Sadly, he passed away at the age of 73 on April 17, 2004, after a battle with cancer, leaving behind a legacy of strong but somewhat tragic roles in film and television. Joan Sanderson, born on November 24, 1912, portrayed Mrs. Alice Richards, a hard-of-hearing and cantankerous guest at Fawlty Towers, in the series' second season. At the time, she was 66 years old. Sanderson's character became infamous for causing confusion and chaos through her constant misunderstandings and complaints, often leading to awkward and hilarious confrontations with Basil and the staff. Sanderson's early career was marked by her work on the stage, where she earned critical acclaim. However, her transition into television was not without difficulty, as she faced challenges in securing prominent roles. Despite a solid career in acting, Sanderson's personal life was fraught with tragedy. She was married, but her marriage ended in a bitter divorce, which affected her emotionally. Later in life, Sanderson faced loneliness and financial difficulties, further deepening the sadness that marked her later years. Joan Sanderson died on May 24, 1992, at the age of 79 from natural causes. David Kelly, born on July 11, 1929, in Dublin, Ireland, was 46 years old when he portrayed O'Reilly in Fawlty Towers, 1975 to 1979. O'Reilly was a lazy, incompetent builder, a character whose poor work ethic created frustration for Basil Fawlty, adding to the show's comedic tension. Despite Kelly's comedic success, his life off-screen was marked by hardships. His career was filled with fluctuating roles, often in supporting parts, and he struggled to find sustained success in more serious or substantial roles. Kelly was married to Moran and had children, though his family life had its ups and downs. The actor faced personal tragedy, including the loss of close family members, which deeply impacted him. Though he found joy in his craft, his personal life and health were challenging at times. He passed away on February 12, 2012, at the age of 82 from natural causes, leaving behind a legacy in both theater and television. James Cossins, born on December 4, 1933, was 41 years old when he played Mr. Walt, a paranoid guest in the Fawlty Towers episode The Kipper and the Corpse. Mr. Walt's suspicious nature and confrontations with Basil created memorable tension in the episode. Cossins, known for his versatile acting, found success in both film and television, but his personal life was not without its struggles. He married actress Carolyn and together they had children, although their marriage endured difficult periods. Like many in the acting profession, Cossins faced the pressures of balancing a demanding career and personal life. His later years were marked by poor health, particularly heart disease, which ultimately led to his untimely death on February 12, 1997, at the age of 63. Despite his passing, Cossins remains fondly remembered for his contributions to British television. Steve Plytas, born on January 9, 1913, portrayed Kurt, the fiery and passionate chef at Fawlty Towers, when he was 62 years old during the filming of the show in 1975 to 1979. Plytas, who had a career in both stage and film, was known for his intense presence, which he brought to the role of Kurt. His early life was marked by hardship, having grown up during a time of political and social unrest. Despite a successful acting career, Plytas faced personal struggles, including a turbulent marriage and financial difficulties that were often exacerbated by his volatile personality. He was married but had no children, and his later years were spent dealing with the emotional weight of his professional setbacks. Despite his success as an actor, Plytas's personal life was often overshadowed by his struggles with loneliness and depression. He passed away on December 27, 1994, at the age of 81, from natural causes, having lived a life filled with both dramatic highs and lows. Una Stubbs, born on May 1, 1937, was 42 years old when she played Alice, the sweet, naive guest, in Fawlty Towers, 1975 to 1979. Stubbs's early life was relatively stable, and she began acting at a young age, finding success on stage and in television. Alice, a character whose innocence clashed with the chaos of Fawlty Towers, marked one of her most memorable roles. While Stubbs had a prosperous career, her personal life faced challenges. She was married twice, with both marriages ending in divorce. She had 2 sons, but her relationships were often strained due to her career demands. Despite her professional success, Stubbs experienced periods of emotional difficulty and loneliness, particularly in her later years. Her career remained strong, with notable roles in Wurzel Gummidge and other British shows, but her personal life was far from perfect. Stubbs passed away on August 12, 2021, at the age of 84, from natural causes, leaving behind a legacy of endearing performances that made her a beloved figure in British television. Alan Cuthbertson, born on April 7, 1920, was 55 years old during the filming of Fawlty Towers, 1975 to 1979, where he played the stern and authoritative Colonel Hall. Cuthbertson, who had a distinguished stage and screen career, was known for his commanding presence, which suited his role as the military man in the chaotic hotel. His early life in Scotland was marked by the challenges of growing up during the war, and he joined the Royal Navy before pursuing acting. Cuthbertson's personal life, while not widely publicized, faced struggles, including a difficult marriage that ended in divorce. He had children, but his family life was not particularly happy, with strains often coming from his career commitments. Cuthbertson's career in television continued into his later years, but his health began to decline in the 1980s. He passed away on February 8, 1988, at the age of 67, from natural causes, after a career filled with both critical acclaim and personal challenges. His portrayal of Colonel Hall remains one of his most remembered roles. Conrad Phillips, born on April 13, 1925, played the role of Mr. Lloyd in Fawlty Towers, 1975 to 1979, at the age of 50. His character was a polite and unassuming guest, whose calm and patient demeanor often stood in stark contrast to the chaotic environment of the hotel. Off-screen, Phillips' life was marked by personal loss and difficult choices. He began his career as a young actor but struggled to maintain consistent success, often taking on small roles in films and television. Phillips was married twice. His first marriage ended in divorce, and his second was a more private union. Though he had children, his family life was marked by sadness, with some estrangement from his children during his later years. Professionally, Phillips enjoyed success in his early years but faced long stretches of unemployment. His personal life suffered as a result of financial instability and a lack of meaningful roles. Phillips passed away on January 13, 2016, at the age of 90 due to natural causes, having lived a long life filled with both career highs and personal struggles. Norman Bird, born October 30, 1924, portrayed Mr. Arid in Fawlty Towers, 1975 to 1979, at 54 years old. Mr. Arid was a demanding, irritable guest whose insistence on high standards and frequent complaints served to frustrate Basil. Bird's own life was often overshadowed by his struggle to find stable acting work despite his impressive talent. Throughout his career, he worked steadily in films and television but rarely landed lead roles. His personal life, too, was riddled with challenges. Bird married young, but his first wife passed away prematurely, which left him heartbroken and emotionally scarred. He later remarried, but that relationship was fraught with its own troubles, and they eventually separated. His health deteriorated over time, leading to a battle with cancer. Norman Bird passed away on April 22, 2005, at the age of 80 after a long fight with the illness. His death was a somber end to a life that had been marked by both professional acclaim and personal tragedy. Janeway, born November 14, 1915, was 59 years old when she appeared as Mrs. Hall in Fawlty Towers, 1975 to 1979, playing the sweet, elderly guest who often found herself bewildered by the antics at the hotel. Despite her gentleness and confusion, she contributed to many of the show's comedic situations. Way's life off-screen, however, was not without its hardships. She began her career as a stage actress before transitioning to television, but her professional journey was often slow and filled with long periods of unemployment. Personally, Way suffered through several difficult relationships. She was married twice, but both marriages ended in divorce, and she never remarried. She also experienced the painful loss of close family members during her later years. As Way aged, her health began to decline, and she struggled with depression and loneliness. She passed away on March 13, 1993, at the age of 77, from natural causes, leaving behind a legacy of warmth and kindness in her acting but also a life tinged with personal sorrow and isolation. Martin Wildeck, born on January 11, 1914, was an English actor who played the distinguished Sir Richard Morris in Fawlty Towers, 1975 to 1979. At 61 years old during filming, Wildeck's portrayal of the authoritative and commanding guest made him a memorable character in the series. His interactions with Basil Fawlty often revealed the latter's insecurities, adding depth to the show's humor. Wildeck's career, however, was marked by personal struggles. Raised in a strict, upper-class family, he never truly felt a connection to his parents, and this emotional distance permeated his adult relationships. His first marriage was fraught with tension and ended in a bitter divorce. He remarried later in life, but this union, too, was filled with disappointment. Wildeck's personal and professional life was often overshadowed by periods of loneliness, and his legacy as an actor remains somewhat underappreciated. Martin Wildeck died on April 29, 1988, at the age of 74, due to natural causes. Pat Kean, born on October 21, 1933, portrayed Virginia in Fawlty Towers, 1975 to 1979, a no-nonsense guest with a strong-willed attitude. At the age of 46 during filming, Kean's character often clashed with Basil Fawlty's attempts to maintain order, making for comedic tension in the show. Kean's personal life was filled with struggles, starting with a difficult childhood marked by emotional neglect. She found solace in her acting career, but her relationships were far from perfect. Kean married her first husband young, but the marriage quickly unraveled, leaving her with a deep sense of loss. She had 2 children, a son and a daughter, but her family life remained turbulent. Despite the joy she found in her children, the absence of true romantic fulfillment haunted her throughout her life. Pat Kean passed away on March 1, 2013, at the age of 79, from natural causes, having lived much of her later life in solitude. Louis Mahoney, born on September 8, 1938, played the calm and professional doctor in Fawlty Towers, 1975 to 1979. At the age of 37 during filming, Mahoney brought a composed and rational presence to his role, providing a stark contrast to the chaos surrounding him. Born in Gambia and raised in a family with high expectations, Mahoney faced a complex relationship with his heritage. His early life in Africa was marked by racial tension and the struggle to adapt to British society. His career in the UK saw him typecast in roles that did not reflect his talents, leading to frustration and a sense of professional stagnation. He married once, but the marriage ended after a series of emotional breakdowns. He had 1 daughter, but the relationship was strained, with Mahoney often feeling distant from his family. In his later years, Mahoney struggled with health problems and financial instability. He passed away on June 28, 2020, at the age of 81, due to natural causes, leaving behind a legacy of mixed emotions and unrealized potential. Lan Peters, born on June 11, 1946, portrayed Raylene Miles, a vibrant and flirtatious Australian tourist, in Fawlty Towers during its 2nd season in 1979. At the time, Peters was 33 years old. Raylene's playful interactions with Basil, especially her attempts at seduction, brought a fresh, comedic energy to the show. Growing up in Australia, Peters moved to the UK in the early 1970s to pursue acting, but her career was marked by a series of minor roles in television and film, struggling to break into more significant parts. Her personal life was riddled with challenges. Peters was married twice, with both marriages ending in divorce. She had 1 daughter, whose name was not widely publicized, and often faced the trials of single motherhood while balancing her acting career. Despite her early successes in acting, Peters' later years were marred by financial and emotional struggles. She passed away at the age of 71 on December 19, 2017, from natural causes. Her death marked the end of a life that, while touched by some recognition in her acting, was overshadowed by personal hardships. Michael Halsey, born in 1946, played Jones, the hard-working workman, in Fawlty Towers during its 1975 run. He was 29 years old at the time of filming. As Jones, Halsey's pragmatic and no-nonsense approach to his work contrasted sharply with Basil's chaotic and disorganized behavior, adding another layer of humor to the series. Halsey's career was primarily spent in smaller roles, mostly on British television, and he was never able to secure leading parts. Growing up, Halsey faced a difficult childhood, struggling with financial instability and the challenges of his working-class background. He never married, though he had a few romantic relationships that were brief and tumultuous. The lack of a stable family life affected his emotional well-being, and he faced feelings of isolation throughout his life. Halsey's career was punctuated by periods of unemployment and the difficulty of finding steady work as an actor. He passed away at the age of 71 on September 25, 2017, from natural causes. John Cleese, born on October 27, 1939, was 35 years old during the filming of Fawlty Towers, 1975 to 1979, where he portrayed the neurotic and often absurd Basil Fawlty. Raised in a strict household, Cleese's early life was challenging, but he found his true calling in comedy with Monty Python's Flying Circus, which propelled him to international fame. His performance as Basil, a temperamental hotel owner, became legendary for its sharp wit, physical comedy, and satirical commentary. However, Cleese's personal life was far from easy. His first marriage to Fawlty Towers co-star Connie Booth ended in divorce, and his later marriages to Barbara Brandt and Alice Faye Eichelberger also ended in separation. Despite these setbacks, Cleese continued to thrive in his career, with his post-Fawlty Towers projects like A Fish Called Wanda and Monty Python films solidifying his status as a comedy icon. At 85, Cleese remains active in the entertainment industry, frequently making public appearances and continuing to perform, though his personal struggles with relationships and family life have been well documented. Pranella Scales, born on June 22, 1932, was 43 years old when she played the sharp-tongued, domineering Sybil Fawlty in Fawlty Towers. Scales, raised in a family with deep theatrical roots, began her acting career in the 1950s and quickly gained recognition for her talent on stage and screen. Her role as Sybil, Basil's long-suffering wife, became one of the defining performances of the series, known for her ability to balance humor with authority. Despite her professional success, Scales' personal life was complicated. Her marriage to actor Timothy West in 1963, which produced 2 sons, was marked by periods of tension due to their demanding careers. While they remained together, Scales faced health challenges in her later years, including a diagnosis of dementia. Though her health has worsened, Scales, now 92, is still admired for her significant contribution to British television. Her long career, coupled with her enduring marriage to West, has left a lasting legacy in the entertainment industry. Connie Booth, born December 2, 1940, is best known for her role as Polly Sherman in Fawlty Towers, 1975 to 1979, where she portrayed the practical and resourceful waitress and chambermaid. At the age of 34 during filming, she brought a calm, intelligent presence to the chaotic atmosphere of the hotel, often acting as the mediator between Basil and the guests. Booth, however, faced a number of personal and professional challenges. Early in her career, she had a significant relationship with co-creator John Cleese, which eventually turned into a marriage, though the union ended in divorce in the early 1970s. She also struggled with the pressures of fame, leading her to step away from acting for some years after Fawlty Towers. Throughout her life, Booth maintained a low profile but did return to writing and acting in small projects. She has lived through periods of personal loss and hardship, including a brief time of financial insecurity. Now, at 84 years old, Booth is remembered for her unique contribution to one of British television's most iconic comedies, despite her own battles with the public eye and the complexity of her personal life. Robin Ellis, born on January 8, 1942, in England, was 33 years old when he portrayed Danny Brown, a suave guest at Fawlty Towers. Danny's charm and sophistication added a touch of intrigue to the series. Ellis had a varied career in television and film, but it was his time on Fawlty Towers that earned him lasting recognition. However, his personal life had its challenges. In his early life, he faced the devastating loss of his mother, an event that had a profound effect on him. Despite a successful career, Ellis experienced marital struggles that led to the dissolution of his marriage. Though he had children, his family life was often under strain due to the pressures of fame. Ellis continued acting through the years, but his private nature kept much of his life away from the public eye. At 82, he remains active in the industry, reflecting on a life filled with both personal and professional highs and lows. Sabina Franklin, born on September 15, 1954, played the elegant and sophisticated Quintina in Fawlty Towers during its 1979 run. At 25 years old, Franklin brought a sense of charm and poise to the series, highlighting the absurdity of the incompetent management at the hotel. Raised in London, Franklin's early life was marked by a strong desire to pursue a career in acting, which led her to small television roles in the 1970s. Her career had brief moments of promise, but she struggled with typecasting and often found herself in roles that did not allow her to fully showcase her talent. Franklin's personal life was a complicated affair. She was married once, but her marriage ended in a bitter divorce, and she has one child. Despite her outward success, Franklin's life off-screen was filled with disappointment. She experienced the grief of losing her mother at a young age, and financial instability made her later years difficult. As of now, she is 70 years old and living a more private life, far from the limelight, dealing with the realities of aging and past struggles. Johnny Shannon, born on July 29, 1932, portrayed Mr. Firkin, a no-nonsense guest, in Fawlty Towers during its second season. At the time of filming, he was 43 years old. Mr. Firkin's blunt manner and disapproval of Basil's antics became one of the comedic highlights of the series. Shannon's early life was shaped by a love of theater, and he enjoyed a steady career on the stage, but he never achieved the same level of recognition in film and television. His career was marked by modest roles, with some success in British dramas, though he often found himself overshadowed by more famous actors. On the personal front, Shannon's life was difficult. He had a turbulent marriage that ended in divorce after several years, and he had 2 children, both of whom have led private lives. His later years were marred by health problems, and he faced financial struggles after his acting career slowed down. Johnny Shannon passed away at the age of 84 on March 17, 2017, from natural causes. Who's your favorite character from Fawlty Towers? How do you feel knowing that some of the actors have passed away? Don't hesitate to leave your thoughts in the comments below. If you enjoy this content, please remember to like, subscribe to the channel, and ring the bell so you won't miss future videos. Thank you so much.